A $3 piece of zinc from any marine supply store can stop heavy metals, chlorine byproducts, and bacterial biofilm from entering your home's water supply. No filter cartridge, no electricity, no plumber. The zinc attaches to your incoming water line and begins an electrochemical reaction that has protected critical infrastructure for 200 years. The same principle keeps oil rigs intact, prevents bridge pylons from failing, and is built into every submarine ever launched. Engineers who design municipal water systems use this chemistry every single day. And in 200 years, not one plumber has ever mentioned it to a homeowner, because a $3 fix that lasts for years permanently ends the $200 annual filter replacement cycle their referral networks depend on. This is the story of cathodic protection, discovered in 1824, validated by the British Royal Navy, the EPA, and water engineers on every continent. Hidden from residential consumers not by accident, but by the quiet financial logic of an industry that depends on problems that never get permanently solved. Welcome to Forbidden Camping. If you are not subscribed yet, hit subscribe and the bell. This is where we dig up what the industry buried. The year is 1824. Sir Humphry Davy, one of the most celebrated chemists in British history, is standing before the Admiralty Board with a problem the Royal Navy had been losing ships to for generations. Copper sheathing on hulls was corroding in seawater at a catastrophic rate. Vessels were being pulled from service not by battle damage, but by the ocean eating them alive. Davy's solution was almost insultingly simple: attach small blocks of zinc to the copper. Zinc sits higher on the electrochemical reactivity series than copper, meaning it sacrifices itself first. As long as zinc is present, seawater attacks the zinc and leaves the copper completely alone. The Navy tested it. It worked completely. Within a decade, zinc sacrificial anodes were standard on every significant British naval vessel. The principle is self-regulating, continuous, and passive. It requires nothing from you once installed. Stay with me, because what this same principle does inside a household water pipe is a story the filter industry has spent decades making sure you never heard. Here is where this stops being about ships and starts being about the pipes inside your walls. Every household water line is fighting the same battle Davy's hulls were fighting in 1824. Chlorine added at the treatment plant reacts with organic material in distribution pipes and forms trihalomethanes, compounds the EPA classifies as probable human carcinogens. Inside your pipes specifically, bacteria form biofilm on interior walls that chlorine cannot fully penetrate, shedding directly into flowing water. Add the lead and copper corroding off aging pipe joints and leaching into the water column on its way to your glass. Now here is what should stop you completely. Water utilities already know zinc stops this. Hundreds of municipalities across the United States add zinc orthophosphate directly to the water supply to coat pipe interiors and suppress corrosion and heavy metal leaching. Your utility applies zinc chemistry from the plant end so your pipes do not poison you. They have never once suggested you could apply the identical protection at your own entry point for $3. The Flint water crisis, beginning in 2014, was caused not by poisoned source water, but by pipe corrosion leaching lead into water that otherwise tested within safety parameters. Cathodic protection is precisely the mechanism built to prevent exactly that. 200 years of documented engineering, and the homes at the center of one of the worst public health failures in modern American history had none of it applied at the residential level. So why has no plumber ever told you this? The global water filter market generates $60 billion a year. The business model is simple. You buy the housing once, then you buy the cartridge again and again, 3 to 6 times per year, every year, for the rest of your life. A single activated carbon cartridge costs between $20 and $80 and requires replacement every 2 to 6 months. Over 6 years, That is $600 per household for a filter that removes chlorine and sediment, but cannot touch dissolved heavy metals, cannot kill bacteria, and stops working entirely if you miss a replacement cycle. A zinc anode costs $3 to $5, provides continuous electrochemical protection for 2 to 4 years, and addresses threats that carbon physically cannot: biofilm, heavy metals, and chlorine byproducts. You cannot patent zinc. It is the 24th most abundant element on Earth. You cannot build a $60 billion subscription business on something that costs $3 and runs unattended for years. So the industry sells you plastic cartridges, and the zinc sits in the marine supply aisle labeled for boats, and the cycle continues. Here is exactly what to do. Go to any hardware or marine supply store and buy a zinc sacrificial anode rod, the kind sold for water heaters, typically $3 to $8. Attach it to the inlet side of your main water shutoff using a copper wire connector to ensure firm electrical contact between the zinc and the pipe. The zinc becomes the anode. Your pipe becomes the cathode. The galvanic reaction begins immediately and runs without your attention. Add a basic activated carbon stage downstream for sediment and organic chemicals. The zinc handles the biology and the heavy metals. The carbon handles the rest. Together, under $20, there is no recurring replacement cycle for years, covering a wider range of contaminants than any single commercial filter on any shelf. Replace the zinc only when it has visibly corroded to less than half its original size. Davy knew this in 1824. Your water utility knows it right now. Every civil engineer who has ever designed a buried pipeline knows it. The EPA certified the galvanic mechanism and requires zinc chemistry in city water systems. A $60 billion industry knows it too, which is precisely why it has never traveled from the engineering textbook to your awareness. That information gap is not accidental. It is a business model. Now you know. If this video changed how you think about what is in your water and who benefits from keeping you in the dark, hit subscribe and share it with someone who deserves to know. The next vault is already open.